To the writer who fears criticism of their work, this one's for you. Hey guys, it's Abigail. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so happy to be starting the very first of my series, To the Writer. Today I want to talk about fearing criticism because it's something I've dealt with personally a lot, and I know a lot of other writers and artists in general really struggle with it. So I really want to break it down today and encourage you to overcome it. First thing I want to say to you is that you are not alone. First off, I have dealt with the fear of criticism my whole life, but when it comes to my writing, my work, it really takes a whole new level. I am really scared that people won't like it. I'm scared of negative reviews. I'm scared of even constructive criticism from my editors. And I found that I will take things way more personally than I probably should when people are just trying to help me. But beyond constructive criticism, what I'm really scared of is not constructive criticism, just plain harsh criticism. Someone having a strong opinion about something I've done that I have loved doing, that I'm passionate about, and someone coming in and proclaiming that it's horrible and that it's trash. I think the thing we have to remember is that we are not defined by people's opinions, and that they may honestly hate our work, but that doesn't mean that they hate us. Perhaps there's just something in it, in our book or our music or whatever it is that we do, that they personally have had something to do with that negatively impacted them, and thus they are biased about it and can't see your art, and thus they don't look at it the same way that you do or that a lot of people will do. I think it's important to remember that every single artist out there, your favorite author, your favorite musician, your favorite painter, your favorite anything, there's someone else out there that hates their work and thinks that it's garbage, and that you need to keep that in mind. Some of the most brilliant and now popular, even classic people and artists out there, they were once told that their art was horrible and that they should quit. And there's also people out there that think that today their works is horrible. They were rejected, they were refused, they were denied. And so if you are, then you're in good company. Some examples of this would be just the classic J.K. Rowling. She was rejected how many times before a publisher accepted her book? Not only that, but even today, with all of her fame and popularity, there's still a ton of people that don't care for Harry Potter, that really don't like it. And so we have to keep in mind as writers and artists that there are going to be people that feel differently about our books. But if J.K. Rowling focused on just those people that didn't like her books and give her negative reviews and feedback, and she focused on those rejections and quit because of it, think about all the people that do love Harry Potter, like myself, actually wearing a Gryffindor shirt today. Imagine if she quit because of them. Like, think about it. How many people would be sad, would not have Harry Potter in their life and not enjoy it because she quit over it? Think about all the money that she has. If she quit over that, how much would she have lost? Or even now that she is so rich, what if she focused on those negative reviews instead of on her success? Would that money be meaningless? So that's what I encourage you today, is to focus on positive feedback and your success and accomplishments you've already done. Now, that is not to say that constructive criticism isn't needed and that you should completely ignore all types of criticism. What I'm talking about is people's genuine opinions that they just don't like your work. It isn't a grammatical thing. It isn't a, well, they could have done this better, thus being constructive. It is a, I don't like fantasy, or I don't like whatever genre you write in, or whatever type of music you make, or whatever it is you do. Perhaps they just don't like that topic to begin with. You can't blame them for that. Everyone's allowed and entitled to have their opinions. And we're better off as a society when we have diversity in opinions. But that being said, you shouldn't take that one person's opinion as absolute truth, because I'm going to tell you right now, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of other people who do like that type of thing that you're working on and would love to hear it and want that sort of thing in their life. Ultimately, if we are afraid of criticism, we must consider why. Do we put too much weight and value behind what people think of us? Do we want everyone to love us and our work? Is this about pride, or is this about art? If we're concerned about even getting a few negative reviews, then perhaps we're not able to see the forest for the trees, in that it is about the art and not about people's opinions or money. If you're concerned about not releasing your work because you're afraid you won't become rich over it, or you won't hit best-selling success or top the charts, then perhaps I would ask you why you want that and why you're writing a book or making art in the first place. Because if it's about the art of it, then it shouldn't be about business. Business should take a back seat. It should be a lesser priority. I would ask you, who are you writing this book for? The masses or for yourself? If you're scared of negative feedback, then I know perhaps it may be because you've had bad experiences in your past. I have too. And that's why sharing it with even one person was daunting, because I have had negative feedback in the past that came off as constructive. When you break it down, it wasn't helpful at all. It was actually hurtful. It was discouraging. It didn't tell me how to improve. And so when it comes to negativity and any sort of criticism, we need to take it and filter it. Is this helpful? Can I learn from this? Is this someone's opinion, or is this something I can work on? If it's someone's opinion, like, oh, they had this trope in this book and I hated it, then perhaps we need to disregard it because that's their personal opinion. Because I know there's all sorts of tropes that a lot of people hate, but that same trope is loved by so many people. In fact, there's certain people that only read that kind of thing. So we have to keep in mind that it may just be someone's opinion. So we have to filter criticism through the lens of, is this constructive or not? Can I learn from it? Can I improve from this? When I started writing the book and considering when and who I should share it with, that I am currently finishing editing and preparing for publishing, I realized I was really scared of negativity and constructive criticism, or just plain criticism over it, because I was really feeling like this book was me. It was a direct part of my heart, and I was putting my soul onto paper. And if people judged it or hated it or didn't like it, then I felt like that was them saying, I don't like you. But ultimately, we have to realize we aren't defined by our art. Our art is defined by us, but we don't have to be defined by it. The thing is that I look back at the art I made years ago, and I realized that was a reflection of me then, but it really isn't a reflection of me now. So they're like time capsules that capture bits of our soul. And I'm not going to deny that it is a huge part of me, but it is not me as a whole. Being a writer isn't the entirety of who I am. I am a lot of other things as well as that. So if people don't like my writing, that doesn't mean that they necessarily don't like me. There may be other aspects about me that they really like, and that we could be friends and have a nice, kind, civil relationship that is mutually beneficiary. But they may not care for my style of writing, and that's okay. Furthermore, my success as a writer does not dictate my success as a person. We must look past money, numbers, business, and really consider who we are and who we want to be. Is that all we are? Is a business to be run? Is our writing just that? Just an income source? Or is there something more here? Are we writing for the masses, like I said, or are we writing for ourselves? Are we writing to help people and help ourselves, or are we just out to entertain people for just an hour or so? If we are out to write for ourselves and help ourselves and transform ourselves through our writing, through our art, then we must consider that once the job is done, we write it, we edit it, and we release it into the world, we are already successful. So think about that. Think about the why of what you're doing, whether it is business, art, book writing, whatever it is. Think about what you're doing and the why behind it. If you know you're doing this for yourself, then you are successful as long as you do it and stay true to yourself. Keep that in mind. Success is not what society says. People can go on and say, this person's a loser, the book was crap, they're a horrible writer, but that doesn't mean it's true. That's their opinion. As long as you stay true to yourself and focus on why you're writing, if you're writing it for yourself, for fun, to learn, to grow as a person, to express feelings and thoughts and ideas, then you've already been successful. If you're doing it to overcome fear and thus releasing it in the world, you plow through fear, because publishing is scary, mainly for the reason of criticism, then you are already successful. If you are trying to write for all the above reasons, as well as helping people and making a difference in their life, then if you help one person, then you're successful. And honestly, that is something that is so hard to measure. So let me just say, as long as you put it out there and you do your best and stay true to yourself, then you are successful. And I'm sure that if you put your heart and soul into it like you want to, then you'll be making a difference in one person's life. Even if that one person is yours or your parents, even if they never read your book but they're inspired by your courage and your determination, then that's enough. Success is not easily measured. You have to really take in consideration what you want from your life and what you want from your book writing and what you want from your career as a writer if you are pursuing that. Ultimately, you have to decide what is success for you and redefine it. If you get caught up in numbers and money amounts and reviews and all of the very black and white things, you can totally lose sight of what is actually important and what successful was originally for you when you set out on this project. So I encourage you to take a step back, rethink why you are doing this, and rethink who you want to be and what is success for you. Try to measure it. Maybe not an income amount. Try to think outside of money, outside of numbers, outside of sales, outside of reviews. Think about how you can measure success within yourself, outside of people. Because honestly, when you take control of success for you and you stop letting your success be hinged on other people and what they think, you will find that you've reached success, and it's much easier to constantly achieve it and to be happy and satisfied and fulfilled. My father actually helps people figure out what they're supposed to be doing and learns about their strengths and weaknesses so they can apply that to their everyday life for a living. That's what he does, is helps people understand themselves and achieve their dreams and do what they're supposed to be doing rather than just what pays the bills. So I understand that you may be saying, well, courage doesn't pay the bills. Me just achieving goals doesn't pay the bills. But my father always says, and has proven this time and time again with people, he always says, do what you love and the money will come. People are drawn to passion. People are drawn to people doing what they love. People are drawn to passion. People are drawn to people who live their lives in a very genuine and sincere way. They're drawn to courage and bravery. They're drawn to people putting their foot down and saying, no, I love to do this, and I'm going to pursue it with all my heart, and I'm not going to let my fear stop me. So that comes through in your art. That comes through in how you speak and talk about yourself. You know, one of my favorite artists to listen to, the rapper NF, he says in one of the lyrics of his songs, if you get up every day and think you'll never be great, you'll never be great. Not because you're not, but because hate will cut you up and murder your faith. So if you don't think you're great, you won't be, because you don't believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then you, in a way, are actually hating yourself. And hate doesn't ever typically get things done. It isn't a great motivator. So if you want people to think positively about you, the first step you can do is be the first person to think positively about you. If you want to have people who love, enjoy, and appreciate your art, the first thing that you can do is be that first person that loves, believes in, appreciates, and enjoys your art. If you want people to like you, you have to like yourself. If you want people to think you're confident, then you have to start building up confidence, which takes time. And even if you are confident, believe in yourself, do all the right things, and you still never become popular and people never like your work in the entirety of your lifetime, then guess what? You're still in good company. Look at Vincent van Gogh. He lived his whole life with no one really liking his art. He's considered a master painter now and is a classic, and so many people love his work, myself included. He had such a genius mind, but he was so incredibly misunderstood. And yet he kept going and believed in himself and did it because he loved it. It wasn't about sales. It wasn't about what other people thought. It wasn't about success like society says. It was about the art and himself and his love of his art. And look, it paid off in the long run. He just never got to see it. It was still there. His art is still valuable. It was just as valuable then when nobody liked it, nobody wanted it, as it is now when everybody would love to have one of his paintings. So, what is success? You can't define it by what people think, and thus you can't define it by sales or by money. So that's what I encourage you today, is really think about. How does criticism benefit you? And what good does fearing it do? Likewise, you could also say, what good does positive feedback do? Yeah, it can encourage you, just like criticism can discourage you. But if you can manage to get your courage from within yourself, then yeah, being encouraged is a bonus, but ultimately it's not your source of courage, so your success does not hinge on it, what other people think. People coming alongside you and supporting you is so wonderful and so vital. I can tell you from my own life, having family members and friends say, I believe in you, you can do it, is such a huge blessing and a gift. But ultimately, if I don't believe in myself, those encouragements, even if I have a plethora of encouragement, I will still probably fail because I don't believe in myself. And I am not sure about who I am. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. But if I look at the bigger picture of who I am and then look at the bigger picture of my art and not be so focused on money or sales or what people think, then I am successful. And that frees me to be happy and to be content and to be proud of myself. If you don't believe in yourself first and foremost, then down the line you could sell hundreds of books and make a full-time living on it. But if you aren't in the number one spot, bestseller, and making all kinds of money, if you're not a billionaire, if you're not J.K. Rowling, then you won't think you're successful. It won't be good enough. You'll be always chasing the next milestone, the next level up. It'll never be good enough, not until you die. If you choose today when you have nothing, you seem unsuccessful, if you choose today to believe in yourself and redefine success, then you will be successful in your own mind and you will be happy. You will be able to be happy with yourself and the progress you've made, and every single achievement, every single goal made will be wonderful and you will take notice of it. If you focus on this intangible success, then every achievement will go unnoticed. Every goal will seem insignificant. We can't let who we are as a person be defined by what other people think of us. We can't allow who we are as artists, as writers, as whatever, be defined by what other people think. It's funny because rap isn't one of the main genres I listen to in terms of music, but I do love music and rap. But I'm going to quote another rapper in this video, this one by the name of Lecrae. He says, "If you live for other people's acceptance, then you will die by their rejection." And I think that is so true and accurate. So, something to think about, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you were encouraged and uplifted and that you learned something maybe. If you were, and you could totally share it in the comments below, that would be so amazing. And as always, have a great day and stay true to yourself, guys.